All right, hello to you. Happy Monday. I'm Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade. We are almost through what is historically, typically the busiest month of hurricane season, September. We've got a few days left, and then we jump into October, and then November, and then at the end of November, that's it. So far, so good for the Houston area this season. I've been tracking the tropics for many days now, and we haven't been hit by anything of a tropical nature, at least this season for Houston. So great news. I'm sure you're happy about it. Hopefully we can keep this streak going for a few more months. Even though it's been quiet here, that has not been the case across other parts of the Atlantic Basin. In fact, as of today, we are up to 9 named storms. 3 of those have blown up and become hurricanes, and all 3 of those have become major hurricanes. In fact, over the weekend, Humberto became a monster Category 5 hurricane. So I think the last time we had the first 3 hurricanes of the season all become major was all the way back in 1935. So it's been a while. We also have Imelda, which is hanging out right off of the east coast of Florida, moving away from the Bahamas, and it is a tropical storm. So now the next name on the list would be Jerry. Then we'd have Karen, Lorenzo, Melissa, and then Nestor. So hopefully we won't have to use all of those names, but they are there just in case, because things could still be fairly active for the first few weeks of October especially. Well, where have we been? Like I said, 9 named storms, 3 hurricanes, 3 major hurricanes so far this season. A typical average season would bring us about 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. So we've made it up to our average of major hurricanes. We're not quite there, though, for the named storms and hurricanes. Hopefully we won't make it up to the average, but there's always the chance for more development. But right now, we've got to talk about what we have going on out there in the Atlantic. What is bubbling up? What's brewing? We still got that double tropical trouble. We've got Imelda close to the Florida East Coast, and then a little bit farther out in the Atlantic, we have Humberto, which is a major hurricane, still a Cat 4 right now, and Imelda is, of course, a tropical storm. So Humberto has winds around 140 miles per hour, I believe, so that would make it a solid Category 4. But over the weekend, it blew up to a Category 5. That's as bad as it gets. So it was a huge, dangerous hurricane spinning out there in the Atlantic. But fortunately, it was out over the open water, so not impacting anyone. All right, here are the latest coordinates for Humberto, the latest track strength. Cat 4, 140 miles per hour, pressure at 942 millibars, and it is moving to the north-northwest at 13 miles per hour. Here's the good thing about Hurricane Humberto. It's actually going to pass west of Bermuda, but also pass well to the east of the east coast of the U.S. So that means there's not going to be any direct hit for anyone. So there will be, of course, some side effects for the east coast of the U.S., for Bermuda, some larger waves, maybe the risk for some deadly rip currents. But overall, it looks like this is the best case scenario for this hurricane to kind of squeeze by the U.S. and Bermuda without making a landfall. It is gradually going to weaken and should become a post-tropical system likely by late this week. So not too much to worry about from Hurricane Humberto. However, we are tracking that other system, Imelda, and it's so rare to see tropical systems this close together. They're actually not expected to get sucked up. They're actually going to remain their own separate entity. So Humberto is going to go farther out in the Atlantic, brushing by Bermuda, and then we'll see Tropical Storm Imelda make a pretty sharp turn to the right as well. So they are both going to make a beeline away from the U.S., and that's the best case scenario that we could have asked for. So here are your tropical tidbits. Imelda making its closest approach to the U.S. today. It is expected to make a sharp right turn and head towards Bermuda, but it is not going to hit the U.S., so that's good news. So I think Bermuda will get missed by Humberto, but they could get a hit from Imelda, so we'll still have to watch that. In fact, hurricane watches were just issued for Bermuda, not from Humberto, but from Imelda. Florida to Carolinas bracing for some big waves and some deadly rip currents potentially over the next few days as tropical storm, soon to be Hurricane Imelda, passes by. So I've said a lot about Tropical Storm Imelda. Here it is, spinning off of the east coast of Florida. You can see Orlando there. We've got Daytona Beach, West Palm Beach, Miami. It is expected to become a Category 1 hurricane by tomorrow morning. I want to give you a live view of what's happening in Daytona Beach, Florida right now. And you don't see much rain in this shot, but with Imelda hanging out just to the east, there are some bigger waves. You can see that choppy water, waves starting to increase, and this is going to be the trend. So Daytona Beach dealing with that threat for rip currents, a high surf advisory, and a wind advisory at this point. You can see the heaviest of that rain kind of hanging out offshore, but some of those showers are starting to push over parts of the Florida Panhandle. So even though Imelda is going to make a turn away from the U.S., there will still be some impact. So here's the track for Tropical Storm Imelda, up to 65 miles per hour with those winds with the latest advisory. Here's the good news for the Carolinas and for Florida. It didn't look like this late last week. It looked like it was going to slam right into the Carolinas, but now models are taking it far away. It's going to make it curve to the north and east, maybe push over Bermuda late Wednesday into Thursday as a Category 1 or Category 2, but it is going to stay away from the U.S. as we go through the rest of the week. So certainly some good news for us. I want to leave you with this Fox weather model tropical track showing Imelda spinning there close to Florida, making its closest approach to the U.S. today, moves away Thursday, Friday, probably bringing some bigger impacts to Bermuda. By the weekend, though, both of those systems are long gone. So the good news for us, nothing heading towards the Texas Gulf Coast. Even though there is a weak area of low pressure in the Gulf, right now it is not forecast to become anything tropical, and Humberto and Imelda are going to be moving away from the U.S. So keep checking back daily. I'll let you know if anything changes that could be a concern for us, but hey, we're all good right now.